Hey guys, Quantum Vimana has taken a leap higher in sharing and spreading exciting knowledge. Here, we introduce our very first series in order to make sure more facts are given in a more interesting way. With this very step, we will be taking a specific journey deeply into a chosen topic. So, we expect you to support our effort. All you have to do is to like, share and comment on our videos. In the meantime, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so that you will not miss any of our videos. Today, the topic of our very first series is regarding an over-carried dream of scientists. For so long, people have been working on achieving it. However, the hard efforts, complicated derivations, and deep theories are the only things in place which we expect to help us win our goals. A matter of fantasy and hope. Quantum Vimana presents. Time travel is moving backward and forward in time. It means that from the very moment you're at, time travel can bring you to a specific moment, yesterday or even tomorrow. To be more precise, the range of time is not a matter at all. If at all time travel is achieved, you can visit any point in time or even change it in the first place. When it comes to common imagination, there are only two basic types of time travel. The first one is that you travel as a new person. This means if you go back to 14th July from 15th July, as you kick it off from your house, there'll be two versions of yourself in the same place at the same time. In this case, the only difference between the two same people is that the you from the future knows and has experienced everything that is going to happen from 14th July to 15th July. However, the one who was in the past will only know whatever that has happened until 14th July because that person knows nothing from the future. It does seem complicated, and that tells us how much of a challenge is time travel. But an important point to note here is that the time travel device used on 15th July was only capable of bringing you through time, but the venue remained unchanged. And now, the second type of time travel. You travel as and with memory. Unlike the other type, here you will be able to witness various locations. Does not matter where you kicked off the time machine. Taking the same scenario as before, from 15th July you travel to a specific time on 14th July. Let's take the time as 4:15 p.m. If let's say at that time you were at a library, from your room you will end up in the library. In this case, there will be only one version of yourself. And as you know, the difference is that you on 14th July will know what is going to happen throughout the next whole day until the time you kicked off the machine. Now, let's take it a bit deeper. If you intend to travel to the time when you were 3 years old, although you'll appear as a kid, you will have the knowledge that you learned all the years until the part you traveled time along with the memory. In simple means, if you graduated your degree at 24, now you will be smart and intelligent enough to join the university straight away and graduate at 3 years old. Well, that is mind-bending, but technically how it works. Since we don't know which way would be possible, we have to stick with both the scenarios to understand time travel. Right now, there may be a question lingering in your mind. How did all these thoughts of time travel started in the first place? The answer to our curiosity is to be found too far away in the past. At the time before even science came into time travel, imagination was the first ever creator of the idea. How it happened? Well, that is an easily predictable situation. We humans are known for our adaptations and mental development. Our mistakes, which led to serious repercussions, could have been the sole reason. When we see how bad things turn up in life, losing family members, failing exams, we ponder if there is a chance for us to change our mistakes or even know what is to come in the future. Life gives us no chance of redoing. Perhaps that was why we were ought to find a way to gain chance to win life. That explains why ancient people applied many methods like palmistry to predict the future. According to record, the first ever time travel idea was found in Mahabharata, an ancient Sanskrit epic poem compiled around 400 BC, as stated by Liza Yazek, a professor of science fiction studies. In Mahabharata, King Kakutmi with his daughter Revati travelled to meet the Hindu creator god. As they waited for 20 minutes while the god was listening to a song, turns out that 27 Chaturyugas, more than 116 million years had passed. This was the first ever statement of the scenario of time dilation, in which different observers measured different length of time as they were present in different places. What we know from this is that people had started to think of time travel such long time ago. A Jewish tale depicts a man who slept beneath a newly planted carob tree for 70 years, waking up to find the tree bearing fruits. On the other hand, an 8th century Japanese fable spoke of a fisherman called Urashima Taro, who traveled to an undersea palace and fell in love with a princess. By the time he returned home, 100 years had passed then. However, it was not until the modern era of 1700 and 1800 these stories took a more definite form. Tales like Rip Van Winkle, the novel Looking Backwards, and The Sleeper Awakes were written on how people slumbered for centuries and returned somewhere, traveling through time. In this journey of imagination, the idea of time travel had taken its root deep into the minds of our community. As a matter of fact, time travel, long before it obtained scientific perception, had always been a fantasy which everyone wanted to achieve and experience. But it was not that simple as it was to write stories about them. You see, the reach of the time traveling idea was not as great as it is today. At the time when only a minority group took interest of reading and passing the knowledge around. How did man from various places around the world came to know about time travel? Now, even a kid knows basic time travel. How, when words did not reach the most, imagination was spread. How was it that everyone was somehow influenced that time travel needs a vehicle or a watch or some sort of a device, although the logic was mostly lacking? Well, all of these came around when people started to witness, see them with their naked eyes.